Hi, I'm Eddie with VP Property Management, and one of the biggest questions that we get from property owners is how much does property management cost? And to be honest, the answer is it depends. That might sound like a cop-out, but hang with me because I'm going to walk through exactly what it depends on. And we'll talk about monthly fees, leasing fees, renewals, maintenance, markups, and even hidden incentives some managers don't want you to think about. Whether you own one rental or a growing portfolio, this video will help you spot the red flags and make smarter decisions about who to trust with your property. So why does it depend? Because different property management companies structure their fees in very different ways. Some charge flat monthly fees, some charge a percentage, some include everything in one nice neat package, others nickel and dime you every step of the way. The monthly fee you might pay might not be the whole story. You have to look at the total cost of ownership. That includes things like leasing fees, renewal fees, maintenance markups, and much more. So I'll break down each one of these with real examples from Midwest property managers so you can see what's normal and what to watch out for. Let's start with the monthly management fee. This is the base fee you pay for day-to-day operations. Most full-service managers in the Midwest charge 8 to 10% of the rent collected. Some charge a flat rate, like $99 per month, per single family home, and some combine both 8% of the rent and a minimum monthly fee. Some companies still charge monthly management fees even when your unit is vacant. Yep, even if no rent's coming in, you could be still paying them. They usually justify this by saying they're doing work like coordinating cleanings, showings, inspections, and if that's true, a small fee might make sense, but here's the thing. Those tasks are part of leasing and turnover and not day-to-day property management. That kind of coordination should be covered in the leasing fee, not lumped into a monthly management fee. So if a company is charging you a full service management fee while the unit is vacant and also billing you separately for leasing, you're paying twice for the same service. A lot of reputable management companies, ours included, only charge a management fee when the rent is actually collected. We think that aligns our incentives with yours. If you're not making money, then we shouldn't either. A quick note that I want to make about management fees. When a tenant is under eviction, we do still charge management fees during that time. We'd be happy to discuss what's going on behind the scenes so that you know what you're paying for and what we're doing to get you all your money back. You can ask us all these questions and more whenever we schedule a consultation. Next up, leasing fees, also known as tenant placement fees. This is what you pay for when a new tenant moves in. Most managers charge one full month's rent. If your unit's $1,500, that's a $1,500 fee. Some firms charge less, maybe 75% or even a flat rate like $400. But here's the kicker. A property manager actually has a financial incentive for your tenant to move out. Why? Because every time they have a turnover, they get another leasing fee. So if they do a mediocre job responding to maintenance, poor communication, or tenant concerns, guess what? The tenant leaves and the manager gets paid again. But you pay for a make-ready, maybe lost rent during vacancies, another leasing fee, and it gets expensive. That's why tenant retention is a core focus for good managers and why we don't cut corners. If your tenant stays and signs a new lease, most companies charge a renewal fee, typically $100 to $250, sometimes 25% of 1 month's rent. Not every company does this. Some waive the fees, others see renewals as a profit center. At VP Property Management, we charge a small renewal fee, but we do it to keep things consistent, cover our time for negotiating terms, updating leases, and executing everything properly. No fluff, no surprises. And again, it's cheaper than a vacancy. We would much rather see somebody renew for another year than move out and have to charge you another make ready, another leasing fee. You might also see an onboarding or setup fee when you first hire a property manager. This covers account setup, paperwork, maybe initial inspections. The typical range is $100 to $300. Some just waive it as a sign-up bonus. Just make sure you know what's included. At our company, we keep it reasonable and transparent. If the property is already occupied, there's more work to onboard, so we adjust accordingly. But we can explain why. Now, let's talk about maintenance. This is where things really vary and where you can lose a lot of money if you're not careful. Property managers typically handle maintenance in one of two ways. They either have an in-house technician and it's billed hourly, usually around $75 to $90 an hour. Or it's billed third-party vendors, billed at cost plus 10% for coordination fees. Some do both, but the question you should ask is, do they mark up repairs or do they have vendor kickbacks, and do they actually inspect the work? At VP Property Management, we have our own in-house team to fix all of your issues before calling out a vendor. And then when we do call out a vendor, we're not tacking on extra fees, and then we're coordinating to make sure that that work was actually done, that the pictures were submitted and everything. We also set a maintenance reserve at $500 so we can handle small fixes without delays. And anything over that amount, you have to approve first. Now, let's quickly hit a few other fees that can pop up. Eviction filing, $200 to $300 plus court costs. Annual inspections, $75 to $150 each. Advertising fees, sometimes included, sometimes charged separately, $150 to $200. Late fee retention. Some companies keep 100% of late fees. We split them. Contract cancellation. Some firms charge a fee to leave early. We don't. We believe if we're doing our job right, you'll stay by choice. If these fees are buried in the fine print or not clearly explained, that's a red flag. So instead of just asking what's your management fee, you should be asking what's the total cost when I have a vacancy? How do you handle maintenance and emergencies? What do you do to keep and place good tenants? Because remember, a cheaper manager on paper might cost you way more in lost rent, tenant turnover, and poor service. Our approach at VP Property Management is full service but fair. We want to make sure your property is profitable, stable, and headache-free. That only happens when the manager and the owners are aligned, not when one profits off the other's stress. If you're ready to dig into the numbers and see if VP Property Management might be a fit, we'd love to talk. You can fill out a form on our website or just reach out and we'll walk through your portfolio together. We're not the cheapest and we're not trying to be, but we are committed to doing things right, keeping you informed, and helping you sleep better at night. Like and follow for more insights on owning and managing rental properties in Kansas City and beyond. Thanks for watching.